Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, this was a glorious day for me. I am filming this, of course, in advance, a little bit in advance. Why was this a glorious day? I don't know, I just had that thought. It's the evening. It was a day off. A day actually, thankfully off, because I had so much to do and a lot of stressful tasks. So actually, I started off my day. This is so typical of me. Whilst having breakfast, already making all the stressful calls and emails and stuff like that. And so hardly getting through the breakfast because of it. And then having a frustration moment and having a cry, one of those angry cries, feeling very stressed out. And then gradually things started to smooth over. I was feeling already a little bit better about all the stuff I still had to do, where the list is really big and it's full of stuff that you want to procrastinate for, about, to, with. You get it. You would really rather do anything else but to do those things. But today, all of that stuff had to be done, okay? But it also happened that I was able to cross off one thing off the list, but that also meant with the new information that I got, I had to add another thing to the list. But it's okay. I decided to no longer be stressing about finances, really. That's what it was. I thought, it's a lovely day. I'm going to take my book and read in the park until I finished it. Now, nice weather and all, this is still the Netherlands, so at a certain point I got a little chilly, so I didn't finish the last chapter, but I have decided, again, it's all about decisions today, I am going to finish it today because I like reading, but also sometimes it's a chore, you know what I mean? These days, of course, first of all, being adult, having to do all these things that you didn't need to do as a kid, for instance, or as a teen, it takes up so much of your time. And so you have to now actively make time to read. And then, because of daily life and also our focus, our attention span being shortened due to a lot of the screens that we didn't used to have as well, it means that sometimes when we actually do take the time to read, we are unable to concentrate on what we are actually reading. There's a way around that. The first thing is read what you like. Second, I would say have no distractions. So even at the park, it started off really peacefully, and then of course a group of, I don't know, LARPers, I would say, with their sticks try to do sword fighting, came along and of course made a lot of noise. But, can't be mad at them. They do what they like. Although I was a little mad because they disturbed me. But I busted out my headphones. So it wasn't to listen to music because I actually like my music and that also distracts me. I actually listen to nature sounds, especially, preferably, sounds of rain. Reading is something I do when I feel relaxed, but also it works the other way around. When I read, I relax. And so that's going to be my goal for summer, to read and to relax. Whichever comes first. I think I'm gonna push the reading a little bit because I feel like I should. Finishing a book, it's an accomplishment. Way more than finishing watching a movie or a series. It's not an accomplishment. Okay, that was my rant about reading. This is actually the topic of the video. Let's give the Marielle Tarot a chance. Thing is, Marielle Tarot, this is the first edition. Mary White made this deck, is a really big thing in tarot world. I never got into this deck. I fairly recently acquired this deck. I do see that it's kind of special, but also so far I don't like it. See, this is like first edition untrimmed, very nice conditions too. I don't know. Like there's, I know some cards were changed in the second edition, the edition that is regularly available at the moment. I think the Hierophant was changed, the Judgment card was changed. See, like this is the old Judgment. The reason I don't love this deck, first of all, I've never really worked with it. Okay, that's one. Reason I didn't like a book is because I didn't read it. Yeah, that's one reason. Second, maybe also, okay, that might be me, and I'm just gonna be very honest about this. It's so loved, and it's so hyped, and it's not one of the classics, you know? It's not one of the classic systems like Rider-Waite-Smith, Thoth, Tarot de Marseille. So, what is the reason behind it being so incredibly loved and sought after and even raved about? Especially, yeah, just back in the day before I started making videos, before I even started commenting on videos. People really, really, really loved this deck. And I think people still do, except they don't really talk about this book and about this deck anymore. Okay, here we go, the Hierophant. At first it creeped out so many people, but then at the same time, there were a lot of videos with people explaining their new relationship to this very strange looking card. Although I recently found in a book I was flipping through for collage a very old statue. I wish I would have written it down because I don't remember now, but maybe you know, help me out in the comment section, please, if you know. Two infants suckling on a motherly type figure. There was this old relief or statue that showed this type of archetype. I don't know, maybe it was Gaia, Mother of Earth, I don't know. But yeah, all right, that's reason number two, the thing that it was kind of hyped almost. But then again, you know, there's a reason for it. It's probably a really, really good deck. So this is one of the chances of me trying to bond with the Marielle. I thought it would be good to do it in a video format, to bring you along with me, and to almost push this out of me. What's the third reason I haven't connected to this deck? It's because these are, you know, drawings, and some of them look really cool. Some of them look so incredibly far-fetched. Thing is, long story short, they don't look like tarot cards to me. Not just yet. And the artwork is very, very, very busy. Now, if you have seen my videos, you know I like maximalist decks. But this card I like, you know, and some other cards I've already shown you. I don't mind this fool. But I don't know, there's something about the art style that I guess you can get lost in it. I'm sorry, there's a lot of reflection. It's the Schiffer glossy cardstock. But at the same time, it's just a little, we have a Dutch word for that, briegelig. Of course it's with the sound in it. Let me just Google what that actually translates to. The translation on Google is detailed, elaborate, elaborated. All of those things don't immediately sound very negative, but I mean overly detailed, overly elaborated. Do you see kind of what I mean? It's reminiscent of the typical, if you know what I mean, because I don't have the words right now, the typical oracle decks, typical oracle cards. I see a lot of people showing that art in their videos and saying, look at how beautiful it is. And I'm looking at the deck thinking, that's really not my taste, man. So this is not that, but it's almost that. And I feel bad saying this actually, because I know that Mary White took a lot of time painting these for years on end, you know. She took years actually making this deck by hand. And isn't that what I like? So what's wrong here? let's bust out the book. I have a feeling I'm gonna like this language, this choice of words. The Marielle Tarot, Landscapes of the Abyss. Art is the language of the soul. This is the book to support the Marielle Tarot. It is to tell you about the wonderful treasures you will find within the lowly yet intriguing sales pitch 78 pieces of inked cardboard. It will dig around in the mud, plant a seed, and then watch it struggle to rise up through the dark waters and then to the surface where it will break the tension and burst forth into the pale moonlight and languish in it. All right, it took a turn there in the middle. I wanted to amaze you with the wondrous truths it reveals, the glorious patterns that flow through its iconography, the history, and the innovations. I flipped to the Hierophant card. At least one of the entities it portrays is Babylon, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Of course, yeah, I was reading about that. The two grotesque babies she is suckling are harlots and abominations of the earth. So, that is very interesting to see that as the Hierophant. Ooh, this is not the last card in which Babylon will appear. I might like that. Okay. We will experience the limits of ourselves through crises and challenge. That sure is true. Talking about Dark Night of the Soul. Okay. It's already interesting to me that the guidebook is talking about the fact that this Pope is in feminine form, indicating that the interpretation of the divine will comes from within rather than without. Babylon has often been accused of being the Roman Catholic Church and depicted with all the trappings of a pope. She has been accused of being many empires and institutions, and maybe one or all is true. She is perhaps an archetype that predated them all and will continue to reappear. A guardian into the subconscious where, when the scales of justice fall from your eyes, you will see her as a Venus and a good mother to aspects of yourself you simply were not ready to previously see. And the harlots and abominations of the earth will be Adam and Eve. Wow, wow. There's an undeniable darkness to this card. This and all of the fives, and it is not without reason. Oh, okay. Shit, man, I like this. Let's keep reading. Here you will dive down into the jet black pit of earth, completely separate from God, and face your deepest fears and shadows. Just like Babylon is the shadow of great empires and churches, men are abominations and women are harlots, so too will you find your darkest self. And if successful, you will see it for what it is, embrace it, and love it as a part of yourself, and you will become more whole and powerful, and illusions about the earth will begin to melt away. As a child, you learned how to navigate the separateness of an earthly existence, and now you will go down and in and learn to navigate in a connected spiritual existence. Okay, okay. This doesn't mean I like the deck. This means I'm gonna read the book. That's what it means. Yes, that's what it means. So, it's the images, right? So far, that is the problem. Because I have seen this deck described as, well, people's favorite deck. I mean, fine. Where would we be if we all had the same taste, right? And the same opinion? But I've seen it described as well as Dark Witch in the Wood. And again, I'm asking for your assistance here. Uh, if you remember who said that, who was it? And maybe you can even link the video. I mean, it's gonna be at least 6 years old. It's really not focusing on this deck, guys. So, this better be a water card. Hermit. Isn't that Earth? I don't know. Okay, so, a challenging deck, I've heard. Let's just, 'cause that's what I want to do, shuffle it, see if I can read it at all, maybe just one card, and then pull out the book, our big savior in the story. That is one big deck. I understand why the second edition was borderless and everybody trimmed their deck in the day. Very simple, but what can you tell me now? Very much a question without pressure, although I had a gorgeous day with all the highs and lows. I'm thankful that I have still the ability to call this a gorgeous day. So I think I'm good regarding that. I'm good, but lots of stress. Anyway, so maybe it's gonna be arrow to the heart. Oh, 5 of discs. The first thing I noticed was the Ouroboros. Second thing I noticed was the long, luscious hair that this dude seems to have. And I'm jealous, because I don't know if you noticed, but I cut my hair. This is how it happened. Right after I did it, I mean, I don't hate it, definitely not, but also, I thought I was gonna love it, and I don't. I just simply cut layers. Some days it's okay, it's still very long. It needed a trim. It was dead. So 5 of discs here, at least, looks like you should look beyond this sort of security blanket kind of thing. That's what hair can be, and he's pushing it aside. And there on his chest, I think at the place where his heart's supposed to be, we see an Ouroboros as a type of frame where we can step into his heart, and we see, I think that's supposed to be just a beautiful, serene, calm landscape. That's gonna be my holidays, hopefully. I mean, artwork itself says, look within, calm down. There's this serenity inside of you, and there's a stream. It's almost saying everything is as it should be. Trust the process. Sometimes the process means just challenge all over, obviously, and loss of security, maybe. But at the same time, it can also be an empowering move, right? To move beyond your own comfort zone, obviously, because this person is moving away that security blanket, the comfort, the thing where we feel, I mean, in my case, where we feel most ourselves. And sometimes it's good to move that out the way or get rid of it altogether. But this Ouroboros emphasizes that it's always there, that serenity and that plate. You can always, no matter what happens, to a certain extent, visit that place of calm, and that means strength. Let's see if I got any of this. I think it's accurate. Don't tell me this is Adam with that leaf. What's inside of his chest is the Garden of Eden. I don't know. I do see how this reflects my life right now. There's a lot of 5 of discs, traditional meaning going on. It's very stressful, but also I feel it's okay because I know I'm gonna be okay, and I know it's not a big deal actually. So I'm stressing myself out, which means I also have the capacity, the ability, the strength, the power to unstress myself. Let's see what 5 of discs say. I have a feeling I'm gonna like this guidebook, but I don't like it when tarot guidebooks do this, where they put all the 5s together and all the 4s, you know, all the numbers together. I like it when they just go suit by suit. The 5 of discs. I fucking knew it. Heaven is in the breast. Eternity is now. That reminds me of Eternity's Breath, which is 2 songs, part 1 and part 2, of one of my absolute all-time favorite groups, Mahavishnu Orchestra. Now, I know everybody's talking about Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon and stuff like that, and don't get me wrong, that I love it. It's a spiritual album, it's a spiritual group. Just listen to the something of the Heart of the Sun, something like that. I'll put it in the screen. Listen to that, you know, but but also listen to Eternity's Breath, part 1 and 2, because it's gonna fucking blow your mind. Eternity is now. Gently parting the serpentine shell, the Ouroboros is exposed, eternally eating its own tail. The heart contains the immortal soul. The five of discs is the temple of the soul, spirit filling the fourfold element of earth. This man is the opposite of the fool. You're kidding. And he has fully descended into the flesh. He is completely surrounded by the serpents. Yeah, I saw this. I noticed that his hair is actually serpents. So is he like a Medusa's brother? He wears them, still there is paradise in his heart. Yeah, okay. It is the pit you have to go down into to retrieve the gold. The knowledge of yourself, of your destiny. Then you have to bring a balance between that world and the one you live in. The pit is the snakes and the heart. The ring is the snake around the heart. This is what I mean about the guidebook thing. Next they go into the four of discs is an external paradise. And then I look at the card that's next to it, which in my view should be the four of discs, but it's the five of cups. So I would have to look up what the four of discs looks like. I'm in a weird mood. The five of discs is internal. It is paradise, heaven that we find within ourselves. The snakes are symbolic of flesh, and interesting to think of the serpents in the Garden of Eden as flesh. Flesh that tempts us, and flesh that introduces us to the ideas of good and evil, life and death, suffering and shame. So really another very dark feminine energy. Is that not what we're talking about? There is only life and love and abundance, a paradise. Man is the guardian of his own paradise. What you were looking for with being born, searching, questing, is for knowledge. Knowledge of the self, knowledge of purpose, and hereafter going down into the deepest pits of hell. In the fives, you know that heaven is not in the sky, it is in the breast. Eternity is not somewhere else. It is now, in the present moment. That's good. Thing is though, time will tell if I actually pick up the deck, because I sometimes feel the urge to cull decks, as you know, probably, even though they are good decks. It's just because I don't read with them. And I can't handle I have to reach for them, even though I actually want to just read my Triomphe or Crows, you know what I mean? So only time will tell. But so far, it passed the test of this video, whatever it was. I am going to read this book, at least the first part, meaning the majors or, the introduction to it. And yeah, I'll probably get back to you at some point or not. But all I want to do now is play the game. How about you comment the word ocean? Ocean of your subconscious, obviously. Not to be taken lightly or repressed, but to be given reverence and just consideration. So, ocean, if you've made it this far and you want to let me know and you have nothing else to add, help me out and comment the word ocean. And if you do have something to say and you've made it this far, then maybe implement the word ocean in your comment. I always love seeing those, and I will give a special reply. So thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'll see you all next week as per usual. Bye.